The future 1971 is week number 5, and the Vikings are going to play the Giants.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is Madden football on EA Sports. We are moments away from what should be an excellent matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the New York Giants. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time.
So the Vikings have definitely corrected their season. After losing week 1, they've won 3 in a row and gotten back into first place at 3-1. The Giants are in last place of their division at 1 win, 2 losses, and 1 tie. So the Giants definitely need this game more than the Vikings. If the Giants win this game, the Vikings will still be, without a doubt, in sole possession of first place in their division at 3-2, because everyone else in their division is 1-3. And the Giants may still finish the week in last place, but they would be 2-1. So that's how much more the Giants need it than the Redskins. The Vikings. If the Vikings win, then the Giants definitely remain in last, and the Vikings get even further into first place, if that's possible. So everyone rooting for culmination of everyone finishing within a game or two of each other is rooting for the Giants. Sack to the future loyalists either rooting or for or against the Giants, depending how they have felt towards the Giants in the past. Not sure that just because the 4 that are shown all the time, Giants, Cowboys, Bears, and Bills, if that's won people over, or if that's actually turned people away. But here on the first pass, Gary Quazzo will fire, and he misses. His man had the receiver breaking in open. Here's the line. Alderman, White, Tingelhoff, Sund, and Yari. Brown and Reed, the backs. Grimm and Denson are the receivers. Denson and Reed both had pretty good starts. There's a handoff. Spins away from a tackle. And Files comes up hurt. The linebacker hurt, trying to make the tackle. Files has actually come up with some big interceptions for the Giants, so that could be a bad loss. He's running off the field, not a good sign. See, the Rams got to 5-0 with their Thursday night football victory. Oh! They had them bracketed, so there was very little chance that was going to be picked. I thought it might be intercepted, though, but it was too far in front of the Giant defender as well. Bracketed, really nowhere to put that ball in. So 20 coming over to cover any kind of inside thing, and they had him covered over the top as well. So the Giants hold on defense the first drive. Vikings have to punt, and there's a nice block allowing a possible return. Gets up to the 29-yard line. So here comes Fran Tarkenton. He's going to face his former team, of course, the ex-Viking, now Giant. 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's just under 75% for the year, which is fantastic, 849 yards. And he's also added some rushing yards. So Tarkenton has been good. 4 interceptions, is not great in 4 games. And only 2 touchdown passes is not great either. But overall, compared to everyone else in the 70s, he's been one of the better quarterbacks. But the Giants have had some injuries on their offense and problems playing defense. Young, Highland, Larson, Van Horn, and Harper. Ron Johnson and Bobby Doohan both healthy. Herman and Houston are the receivers, and Bob Tucker is the tight end. So everyone's healthy on the Giants offense. And I think, besides Files just going out with an injury earlier this game, I believe everyone's back on the Giants defense too, so a pretty healthy team. Carl Eller, Alan Page, Gary Larson, Jim Marshall, that is a scary defensive line. Warwick, Winston, and Hilgenberg are the linebackers. And your secondary is West, Kosicki, Cross, and Schrockman. Schrockman's been a corner for many years at this point. Fran Tarkenton's going to spin away from trouble, and he's going to go actually tripped up from behind by Alan Page. Alan Page showed good range there. He came up the middle, saw that Tarkenton was spinning away from Eller coming from the outside, and then went and caught him downfield. Now, Tarkenton was able to get the first down first, but still very impressive for a defensive tackle to be able to turn and run like that. There's a handoff to Johnson. He goes right into that powerful defensive line and gets a few yards. There's another handoff to Johnson. Pretty good blocking by the offensive line. He has 4 carries, 12 yards now. 3rd and 1. This is an important one because the ball's right at midfield. Quarterback sneaks there if Tark wants it. He does not. Play action pass. Tarkenton's going to roll out to the right. And now he's going to get harassed. But, oh, what a nice move there. It looked like he was going to get sacked by the linebacker there. But Farron Tarkenton broke his ankles with that move and was able to turn it into a first down. Look at this. He's going to get his head taken off. Nope. Instead, the guy hits absolutely nothing, and Tark gets another 10 yards or 12 yards. The Giants now almost in field goal position. There's a pitch out to Johnson. Decent blocking again. He gets a couple more yards. The Vikings, the Purple People Eaters, if you will, the defensive line that you can see have 2 different hex factors on it. They get going. They feed off of each other, off of sacks. So whether it's play action passing, a quarterback like this being able to run away from the rush is definitely going to help, because that was another possible sack as Eller came in, but he was able to duck up and get yardage. So once they start getting sacks, they become a nightmare. And this kick, it's a nightmare for the kicker. Oh, no, it did go through. Okay. So, of course, there's cameras on the field goal post, which was unknown to these people coming into 1971 that there would be cameras there. But sometimes it looks like it's no good, but it actually hit the camera, which is through and in. That means field goal's good, and then bounced out. So now the Vikings take over. Tarkenton, like I was saying before, the scrambling type quarterback, a good counter against this ferocious defensive line. At least he was on that drive. And if you don't let the Vikings sack you, they don't turn into fear-mongering. I think one of them actually has the fear-monger X factor. There's a completion. Oh, and then he makes the corner miss. And then there's a missed tackle, and he turns it for a touchdown. Wow, that was just an individual effort. That was just individual effort by Grimm, as he turned and made many different secondary men of the Giants. We told you the Giants' downside so far this year, there's just a poor angle taken. There is a poor tackle attempt, and then it's just speed. It's just the Giants not possessing speed outside of Spider Lockhart, and he's not as fast as he used to be. And there was some speed around the edge on that one, but again, just not enough for the Giants, so the kick is not blocked. It goes through, and the Vikings take the lead 7-3. See some other games coming up. The Falcons get a semi-pro team, so that should get them to 2-3. The Bears at 1-3 are going to Oakland to play the 0-4 Raiders. It's been a surprise that the Raiders are only 0-4. But the Bears, get a chance to get to 2-3 if they could beat a team that everyone else has beat. Cowboys and Broncos are both still undefeated. They both have decent matchups. I expect the Cowboys to stay undefeated, though, against that matchup against the Packers. But if you know anything about sack to the future history, then you know the Packers have been competitive in every single game that they've played against the Cowboys, whether it's user versus computer. And we'll see what happens when it's computer versus computer simulator. Fran Tarkenton on target again. He's had a couple nice runs away from sacks. It was a good job by Turner. He turned his head the wrong way, but then still was able to whip it around the other way in time to locate the ball and make the catch. There's a handoff to Johnson, who cannot get away from Carl Eller, but does still gain 5 yards. Giants doing a good job mixing runs and passes. Oh, but this time they bring the safety up and punish the Giants in the backfield. 3rd and 11. Fran Tarkenton drops back. It's a quick throw. He gets hit, and the ball comes out. Tarkenton's first incompletion as Fredrickson unable to hold on to that with the bone-crunching hit put on him. You see the Saints take the lead on the semi-pro team 3-0. You got to build your record up when you get those semi-pro teams on your schedule. That's why the Saints, Falcons, Oilers, and Colts for the next few years will enjoy inflated records. Here's the Vikings. All kinds of people behind Quazzo. He'll turn and hand off to one of those, and that is okay. Brown makes an adjustment and keeps going, gets the first down, 1 carry, 11 yards. The Vikings getting all kinds of yards per play here today. I think they run like 3 plays for almost 100 yards. There is a 5 plays, for 100 yards. Here's the Giants defense. Reed, Lakes, Kanicki, and Fred Dreyer. You got Ralph Huck, Jim Files, who's injured, and Douglas Files was injured in the first drive of the game. Otto Brown, Scott Eaton, Spider Lockhart, and Willie Williams. I think they were in different positions though. The people did not line up over their names on that one. That was weird. There is a throw it looked like the ball changed trajectory there. Wonder if it was tipped at the line. 3rd and 6, Quazzo. He's got time. Throws incomplete though. Quazzo only 1 of 5, yet he has 68 yards and a touchdown. So if you're only going to complete 1 out of 5 passes, making sure that one completion is a almost 70-yard touchdown pass is not a bad idea. Caught 30, 40, 45, breaks a tackle. There's a nice return, some nice spark. Get the fans back into it and everything. A big return. Giants will start on the Minnesota side of the field. Giants, again, besides week 1 when they got destroyed by the Cowboys, they've been in close games. It's just that they've lost. Well, they've won 1, lost 1, and tied 1 of those close games. Down goes Johnson. 3rd and 12. Big play here. Fran Tarkenton drops back. It's a quick drop, so they continue to go with the quick release strategy. Again, once you give up a couple sacks, 1 or 2 sacks to this Vikings defense, then they just become scarier and scarier with each sack that they get. Here's a fake punt, and that was going nowhere. A fake punt, he almost was caught himself off guard. The key to a fake punt is to attack immediately before the defense knows what's going on. He faked the punt. He took a step left, then right, and then realized now both sides know that I have the ball, and now I just sit here and get hit. So they would have been better off punting that one. Now the Vikings have relatively good position, and Quazzo will hand off to, is that Reed? Oh, there's another injury. That's Douglas now. So the second linebacker to go down in this one, both times when trying to tackle Reed. And now there's Quazzo, who, I thought he was going underneath. I guess he was going further downfield, but he missed that receiver too. So Quazzo having a hard time completing passes to anyone but Grimm. Now here on the delay, they'll hand it off to the Giants. Make the tackle. Kanicki, I believe. And the Vikings will have to punt unless they do a fake of their own. No, they're going to play it up. Play it up. Play it straight. Straight up. There you go. That's what I was trying to say. Bills at Oilers. That will be the next game to air here on SICK, the Future Phantom Fighter channel. Cardinals against the Bengals. So the first time this season the Cardinals would have to play another team with a winning record. So we'll see if the Cardinals can get to 5-0. Raiders still looking for their first win. Bears won in week 1, but then they've lost 3 straight. Here's a handoff to Ron Johnson, who tries to spin away from Larson, but cannot. Turn, and they'll give it to Johnson again, who does get around the edge this time and gets a nice gain. 11 carries, 26 yards, so less than 3 yards a carry, but by continuing to run to him, that's given Tarkinen less times to get hit and sacks. And there's a nice run to the right side this time, and nicely blocked up. Now he's over 3 yards a carry, 12 carries, 38 yards. And the Giants, once again, on every drive today, the Giants have gotten to midfield or beyond. So they have been able to move the ball, just not able to sustain drives. Here's a pitch out to Johnson. Again, he makes one man miss, but there's all kinds of Vikings out there. And they take him down for a 3-yard loss. That's 4 straight runs. So I know you're trying to stop the X Factors there from going off with sacks, but at some point you are going to have to throw the ball. Here's a throw deep even. And he goes up, actually knocks it away from the defender, and it almost into the hands of another defender, but it comes gently to the ground for an incompletion. 3rd and 13, Tarkinen, quick drop, fake, and then fires, but Alan Page continues to impress with his athleticism. He spun away and ran down Tarkinen earlier, and now he jumps up in the air and knocks the ball down right as Tark's about to let it go. It looked like he was going underneath anyways, but Page said no, you can have no yards. Caught at the 15 to the 20, fights his way up to the 24-yard line, so a 9-yard return for West. 1 minute into the second quarter, Vikings holding on to a 7-3 lead. Vikings in clear possession of first place as they are 3-1. Everyone else in the division is 1-3. And the Giants are in a battle for second place. The Cowboys are way out in front at 4-0, but then the Eagles and Redskins are both 2-2, and the Giants find themselves at 1-2-1. So they're right there. They're in last right now, but a win could get them up to second place if things fall right. Of course, you're going to have to tackle Bill Brown if you want to win this game. Ralph Heck, the starting linebacker that's still out there, as the other two went down with injury, makes the tackle. There's a handoff. He goes around the Vikings are using 3 different running backs. It's Osborne. Osborne's got 3 carries. Brown's got 4 carries. And I believe the other guy has 2 or 3. Actually, in fact, he's been injuring people. There's a quick throw underneath, and that's a first down. Quazzo completes his second pass, 2 of 7 for 82 yards. That was Hilton, of course, on the reception. And now a fake throw, but they hand off to Brown, who just murders one of the defenders, and then get off me, and then runs up to the 34-yard line. So now the Vikings getting a little bit of a time of possession drive here. And after Brown again, huge blocks. Some nice pull blocking from the Vikings there, and straight up blocking by both the center and the right tackle. And nice gain. There's another handoff, and there's another broken tackle. Brown breaking tackles. He's up to 50 yards on 7 carries. And the Vikings continue to march down the field. Quazzo going to throw. Fires near the end zone. It's complete, and he cannot stretch across the line down at the 1 yard line. 1st and goal. Giants need a miracle here to try to stop him to a field goal attempt. Quazzo will turn. He'll hand off. No, he fakes it, and the Giants don't fall for it. They set Hughes gets to Quazzo way back at the 8 yard line. So now it takes a little bit less than a miracle. We got 2nd and goal from the 8, not as easy. The handoff to Brown. He keeps fighting his way up to the 2 yard line, so he gets most of that yardage back. But here we are at 3rd and goal. And what started as needed a miracle, you now just need one more stop. Quazzo back to pass. He's in trouble and sacked. So the Giants will get their goal line stand. Lertzema got there, and the Vikings will have to go for the field goal. Cox with the chip shot here. Kick is up, and it's good. 6:51 remain in the first half. Giants sticking in it. Down 10-3. There's the battle of semi-pros, Carolina and Jacksonville. So that's how the semi-pro team, the best way for the semi-pro teams to get wins. We've seen it in Tech to the Future years past. Semi-pro teams every once in a while will beat a real team. But primarily they get their wins from playing each other.
Ready, break. Mike is 59. Mike is 59. Keep it up, defense. Keep it up, guys. Tight dog, tight, go.
Head up to Johnson, and he gets tackled immediately.
On the ready. Check. Let's go, D.
Darkman drops back, fires downfield, and it was knocked away as the Vikings. The other thing that we don't talk about enough is the Vikings defensive line put so much pressure on quarterbacks just with the 4 of them that they're able to drop all 3 linebackers into coverage a lot, which means that not only do you have to get rid of the ball before you get sacked by one of these monsters, you also have to throw with 7 defenders out there getting into passing lanes and such. So the Vikings pass defense will just continue to climb up the charts. It's my belief anyways. They're not top 5 yet, but I soon expect them to be a pretty top-tier defense against the pass at least, and probably overall when it's all said and done. Here's Quazzo handing off to Osborne, and he gets 1 yard. I was going to say 2, but it was only 1 yard. Here's Brown fighting for 4 yards, and it's the Giants' Brown, Otto Brown, who comes up hurt after that tackle. That's 3 different defensive starters of the Giants that have gone out with injuries. Although it looks like Files might be back. Hey, Justin, welcome. Welcome if you have not figured it out, which I'm sure you have, but if you're wondering what the S2TF stands for, it's Sack to the Future. It's a league that has, well, it's taken some changes, but originally there was 4 of us playing from 1960. I think we made it through into the 66 season, but we have not finished that due to real life and also technology problems, like somebody's PlayStation going out and etc. But now we're into the 70s, 1971, and as you can tell, it's simulation style, but 71 rosters, and just kind of seeing what happens. Still mad, it's still Madden, so I can only do playbooks for one of the teams. So you'll still see the other team certainly run, not necessarily early 70s style plays, but the rosters are early 70s, and it's still fun nonetheless. There's a drop ball by Fredrickson. Tarkenton 3 of 9 now. What's your favorite team, Justin? We have the 4 that you'll see here all the time are the 4 we started with. It was our 4 favorite teams. So I'm a Bear fan, so you'll definitely see Bears games. And then there was the Giants fan was John M., which obviously still has videos on his channel, but is not doing it at the moment. And then you'll see the Dallas Cowboys from formerly owned by Tears 89. And then the Buffalo Bills is the other one. So Bills, Giants, Cowboys, and Bears will be shown on this channel all the time. I mean, all their games will be shown. And then every once in a while I might show something if it's just, you know, the team. Like when we get to 72, I'm sure the Dolphins will be on here a time or two because they're the 72 Dolphins. There's a quick pass from Quazzo. What video game? Sorry if I read that wrong. I think it said that you had your own old school type video game. That was inches. I thought for sure it was a first down, but they're saying 2nd and inches. Quazzo will come back and throw to no one in particular. And that brings up 3rd and inches. The ball's literally on the orange line, but the orange line, of course, we know is not always accurate. So it's a play action pass. Could have easily picked it up had he handed it off, but now he'll just throw. Oh, he threw it over his head. So he fakes it to Brown, who would have got the first down. Then his line gave him so much time that he got to go through all the progressions, came back down to Brown, the man he faked the handoff to, and then threw it over his head. NFL Quarterback Club 99. Okay. All right, I'm not familiar. I mean, I've never actually played it. I think I have heard of it before, though. Unless it's just similar to a title that I have heard of. Oh, did he down it? He downs it at the 1. What a great play. The great play there. Who was that? Was that Paul Krause on punt coverage? It was a great play to down it at the 1. Fran Tarkenton will come out. You know Tark wants to win this game against his former team, but he will have to start from the 1 if he wants to get any more points before halftime. Turn, hand off to Johnson, who's got a lead blocker, and he gets himself across the first down marker, so that gets him out of the danger zone of the safeties. And now we'll see if Tarkenton can take to the air. All right. Quick drop for Tarkenton, and he gets blasted by Alan Page, who's been chasing him all day long, and finally gets him behind the line for a sack, and he just let him have it. Tarkenton, look at this. Bam! That looked like old school football. I mean, it's still modern rules, so a little bit surprising with that launch that it was not roughing the passer, but it was not. It was a sack fumble forced, luckily for the Giants, so they were able to recover it. And now Page has him again. And did Tarkenton get the ball out? It looked like Tarkenton kept the ball out of the goal line just barely to avoid the safety. But now we're back to a 3rd and 22 all the way back to the 1-yard line after back-to-back sacks by Alan Page. As they go back to the handoff, and that was Carl Eller this time. The defensive line of the Vikings is seriously intimidating. The Giants do everything they can just to not give up a safety, but now their punter has no room, and he will get the punt off, though. So the Vikings didn't really send everything they had at it. But there's not a fair catch. So he runs right into the defender. Could have fumbled, but he did not. All right, so Vikings start on the Giants side of the field, up by a touchdown. The Giants need a big stop here by their defense to keep it just a 1-score game. There's Brown going in motion, so Quazzo will have nobody to hand to. He is going to go to the air. He throws it over to Brown. This time it's not over his head. And Quazzo completes his 5th pass of the game. Bazo. Ah, the old Pontiac Silverdome, yes. Yeah, so the, well, there's some things missing, obviously, from Madden. They don't have all the historical uniforms, so we do the best we can. You can, as the Titans, of course, you probably know this, I don't know how much you play Madden, but you can dress them in the Oilers uniforms, so that's cool. And you can actually move them to the Oilers, which I am doing. So when we get to 72, they will not only be in the Oilers uniforms, but it will say Houston Oilers instead of saying Tennessee Titans. So yes, that's definitely a cool thing. Stadiums, you know, I mean, Seattle is not a real team yet, but when they come in 76, I will be able to put them in a dome stadium. Obviously, it won't be called the King Dome or anything, but so you do what you can, Madden-wise. But yeah, what the 99 quarterback club, what system is it on PC then? I know there's a nice return again across. He just stepped out of bounds, I think, on his own, unless the kicker's going to get credit for it. That was a huge return, though. 6 seconds to go is the only problem. If they had a little bit more time, they could have turned that great return into points. But here, Fran Tarkenton's just going to launch it as far as he can throw it. Oh, it almost came down. It almost came down into the hands of another Giant, but it just was not able to be caught. So that was an exciting end of the half that we did not expect, with a great return. And then I don't know if it's a Hail Mary. It wasn't in the end zone, but it almost turned into a touchdown type play. What is going on here? Oh well. The old Nintendo 64. Definitely some good memories. I no longer have one, though. I know there's also a, of course, Madden has the better graphics, but like I said, you can only do playbooks. You have to create your own playbooks. The playbook I'm using, if you're interested, well, if you have Madden, I don't know. If anyone's interested that watches this video, it's from a guy named I Teach History 78, who has fantastic historical. That was a great catch. What a fantastic catch. Anyways, I was going to say he has fantastic historical rosters and historical playbooks. This one's called 60s, 70s Run Playbook. It does a good job, but you can only have it for one of the teams. So some people, you know, try to watch it, and they're like, yeah, graphics are great, but it just doesn't look like 70s football, so, you know, whatever. And then there's games like Pro Football. I think it's called Pro Football Simulator 2003, which obviously the graphics are nowhere near Madden, but you can literally design your plays on the fly. I mean, you click on the receiver and say, do an out route, running back, do this route, play action pass, blah, 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 how to line up. You can line up with the T formation, I formation, pro formation, anything you want. So that's more of the total control simulation, but again, then you don't get the graphics. So there's people out there, though. A great channel for that is Al, Red Sox fan. If you ever get a chance to check out his channel, if you like historical sports type of replays using video games. There's a throw and a nice catch. Looks like Houston. Is that Houston? There's a nice catch there. Now pitch out to Johnson. The Vikings are just really on fire now lately, getting to these guys quick. Well, my football game is that there's also simulations section. You can pick either history, sims. Oh, really? I don't remember, but does Nintendo 64, are you able to cast that, or have you ever cast it on YouTube or anything? That sounds pretty cool with the historical simulation. Fran Tarkenton hits Houston down deep again. That's so 2 catches for Houston, both on this drive. But, and here's one of those things, you know, it's Madden. Can't change the rules or anything, so they do have replay, even though it's 1971. Okay, yeah, interesting. So I'll have to check one of those out, see if I remember playing that game, or I mean, again, I don't have a Nintendo 64 anymore, but still, it'd be cool to check out. So the Giants pull it back to within a 1-score game, and now the Vikings will cut it back at the 25, gets across the 30, fights up to the 32-yard line. Sorry, I think I missed it earlier because then we started talking about other video games. What's your favorite NFL team? Justin, if you're still on. There's a handoff. If you type in NFL Club on YouTube, there's actual video of people playing the game. Oh, okay. All right, sounds good. Yeah, thank you for that. I will definitely check that out. NFL Club at 99. Good knowledge. Good knowledge. Anyone that watches this in the future, I can't imagine anyone watching this for any other reason except for liking historical football. So they will get that message also. Have another option. That we've seen some nice catches in this game. I got to say that this may have the most good catches in any of the 1971 games that have been broadcast so far. Brown running hard as well, still averaging over 6 yards a carry. But here's a big play. Oh, I thought it was third down. Second down. I mean, still every play is a big play, but third downs, of course, are bigger. There's a handoff. Now it'll bring up third down. So here it is. This is why it's a big play, because another first down, and the Vikings will pretty much be in field goal position. If the Giants hold here, they can get the ball back down by just 1 score. So Quazzo, quick drop, throws to the middle of the field. It's incomplete. Quazzo drops back down under 50%. And the Vikings will have to punt, so the Giants are sticking with them. Again, the Vikings in first place, the Giants in... It's a fake punt. The second fake punt of the game, and both teams have tried it. Both teams have failed. So possibly stop trying the fake punts because they're not working. All right, so now a handoff to the fullback, Tucker Fredrickson, who has made some catches, but that's his first carry. Six minutes to go in the third quarter. Giants trail by a touchdown. Some motion, and now they'll pitch it out to Johnson. There's a nice block, 2 nice blocks, and he gets across the 50, stepped out of bounds. It could have been a bigger play, but he happened to step out of bounds at the 44. So again, Alex Webster's team hanging in here against the feared purple people-eating Vikings. There's Johnson breaking a tackle and hurting himself. Well, Johnson goes down. He missed a little bit of time earlier. The only good news for the Giants, although Johnson's their best running back, Bobby Duhan and even their fullback Tucker Fredrickson are both capable running backs, so they should not have to go strictly to the air or anything. And there's Tarkenton, does go to the air, but he does go to Tucker Fredrickson, so that gets him up to 3rd and 3. They can now run from here or pass. They are going to hand it off, and that is Fredrickson that gets the carry, does not get the first down. The 4th and 1. We are in the late stages of the third quarter, but not late enough to start considering things 4-down territory for Webster. So he tells his punting team to get out there and try another fake punt. This time it's a pass. He just stands there and gets belted. You got to at least try to throw it. I mean, I know you're a punter, but if you're going to call these fake punts, you got to at least release the ball and see. I mean, obviously, it's not going to work if you don't throw the ball. Yeah, so that is the main reason you might see on this channel a couple videos for Sack to the Future 1980, because that was on Madden 22, and my favorite time period is probably the 80s, but there's a huge run. It was on Madden 22, so of course it's the Commanders, and they don't even have the old Redskins uniforms. Even if they won't say the words, if you could still dress them in the Redskins uniforms, that would be good enough, but you can't. So that's another reason to go with Madden 20. I think there's a couple other reasons, but one of the main ones is historically, at least they still say the Washington Redskins and have the Redskins' old uniforms. This is the last one, of course. Madden 21 is where they took that away, and I'm sure it's never coming back. There's another handoff to Osborne. Good tackle, and that's Files back, so that's good news for the Giants. They had 3 injuries on their defense already, but it looks like 2 of them have come back, so they were just minor injuries. There's a handoff, and able to get the first down and all the way down to the 11-yard line is Osborne. So this feels like the Vikings are trying to put the Giants away on this drive. If the Giants can hold them to a field goal, then that's obviously better than being down by 2 touchdowns, but either way, it's bad news. There's a handoff, and nicely tackled. He tries to spin away, but Reed is unable to. Reed, that's only Reed's 3rd carry, as Reed has been the man out, I guess, out of the 3 backs that the Vikings have. Quazzo throws underneath. That's complete. And the Giants rally to tackle him at the 6. So here we go. Big play. Obvious. 3rd and 5 from the 6-yard line. Quazzo throws and has the man in the middle of the field. That's a touchdown. And that's Henderson on the reception. And the Vikings turn it to a full 2-touchdown lead. And there's sort of a still picture, kind of a fade out. That was new. But the kick is good. 20-6, the Vikings. Now, of course, the video game, also you have the Raiders based in over. Yep, yes, exactly. That was the other thing I was going to say is this is, Madden 20 still has the Raiders in Oakland. It does now. The Rams and Chargers are in LA, but like I said, with the Tennessee Titans, you can move them to the Oilers. You can also move teams to San Diego and St. Louis. So in 72, this is the first season, of course, in my Madden franchise. So when we get to 72, the Titans will be back in Houston and be called the Houston Oilers. The Cardinals will be in St. Louis. The Rams will stay in LA, but the Chargers will be in San Diego. And, of course, the Raiders will stay in Oakland. So, yes, Madden 20 definitely feels like the last game that you can do the historical football outside of PC with mods and everything. But Madden 20, probably the latest / best graphical choice that you can do this stuff. But there's plenty of other games, older games or PC games and stuff that you can continue to do the old school stuff on. And I don't mind, I'm not, I don't think the NFL nowadays is complete garbage or anything. It's obviously a passing league. I just like it better when, like I said, 80s is like my favorite time from maybe even early 90s, which, yes, even at that time, there's more passing than running, but at least running was important. And the most important thing, though, is defense. Like, they just, well, you know, if you saw the Super Bowl 38-35, I mean, you know, could you stop them one time? I think there was one sack because the guy ran out of bounds 1 yard before the line of scrimmage. So, like, one total sack in the game against the two best teams. And I know the Chiefs scored every single time they had the ball in the second half. It's kind of ridiculous. If you like defense. If you hate defense, then, of course, nowadays NFL's way superior, and why would you ever tune in to something like the 70s, 71, Back to the Future? But if you like some defense and you like the yesteryear of the game, then the 70s project should be good viewing. Speaking of defense there, first and goal from the 1, and they don't let him in easily. Second and goal coming up. Guazo backs up, and then gets sacked. So Shea comes in and gets the sack, and it looks like the Giants have a chance to hold them out. Of course, the interception was a big killer, already down by 2 touchdowns. Fran targeted and throwing the interception. Now the Vikings are down here looking to score again. Guazo throws, complete. He's going to have to break a bunch of tackles. He almost did, but he got only to the 2-yard line, and now they'll send the field goal kicker out because this makes it a 3-score game. Even with the ability to go for 2-point conversions and everything, this will make it a 3-score game. Kick is up, and it is good. So Cox makes it 23-6. The Giants fought hard for a while, but the better team is going to win this game. Of course, in 1971, real life, Bud Grant's team went 11-3. Carolina Panthers, Tennessee Titans. So, so unfortunately for Carolina Panthers, you're not going to be around for a while in my universe here since we're in 71. So, if the Panthers ever do get to be shown, they will be just full of whatever. It depends what year it is. You know, they might be a World League of American Football team. You know, in the 80s, if we get there, they might be a USFL team, but or they'll just be made up of recent retirees, but they're not going to win. My team is the Bears. So Chicago Bears first. If you go with a second team, then it would be the Denver Broncos, because when I was growing up, or when I first got into football, I was, how old was I? 7, I think. And the guy I loved was John Elway. So I was a Bronco fan actually first, even though, you know, I lived in the Bear fan area. So I did become a Bear fan quickly. And the Bears took over. But for a long time, I had 2 favorite teams. And now, you know, since Elway retired, obviously the Broncos have dropped and dropped. So they're still my second favorite team. But I don't really care about them that much. I mean, I'd rather them win than lose, but not heartbroken anytime they lose or anything. So it's Bears all the way. Broncos would be my second favorite, though. The teams you mentioned don't bother me at all. Titans and Panthers, I don't like or dislike either one of them. Obviously, my dislikes would be the Packers, Vikings, Raiders. Is there anyone else I just don't like? Those are the main ones. Oh, there's a completion and stopped from getting into the end zone, but the Giants are just in danger of getting this to look like a blowout all of a sudden. Oh, sorry, that comment actually disappeared, so I was unable to see what that one said. I know it said football fans since 2018, but let me see if I have a way to get back to the comment there. There is a... Oh, he did get in. I'm surprised that's called a touchdown. Oh, yeah, Steve Smith. Steve Smith. So, I mean, he was a good one, obviously. I like him just because I like good players. But I don't like what he did to the Bears. Oh, man, I can't remember what year it is. But there was a playoff game, early 2000s, I think. Obviously not the year, not 2006, because the Bears made it to the Super Bowl that year, but one of the years around that time when the Bears had a relatively good defense, but not against Steve Smith, because they were supposed to win that game. It was in Soldier Field, and Steve Smith was uncoverable and had like 200 yards or something. It was, so I hated him that day, but no, Steve Smith's awesome player. So this game, remember, it was 13-6. The Giants were hanging tough. And next thing you know, and the Vikings are still trying to strip the ball. The Vikings defense they have an appetite of destroying teams. And all of a sudden, 30-6. Tarkin, not what he wanted against his former team. Oh, and then he throws it out to Tucker, who makes the catch, but then the hit jars the ball loose. So it's incomplete. The Giants are going for it. Play action pass, and Tark hit as he throws it and picked off for the third time. So the Vikings getting the better of their former quarterback today. If anyone thought it was over, I care what it is now. Yeah, it's at least they've been there recently. My Bears obviously haven't been there since 2006, which I guess isn't that long, but 16 years ago. Haven't won though since '85, so that's starting to get a while. We do have the #1 pick though, which I hope they don't have to take. I hope they're able to trade and get a bunch of picks, because we need a bunch of help. And I do like Justin Fields. I think he is a real quarterback, or can be a real starter in the league. So I don't think they need to use the #1 pick on the new quarterback. I think they just need to have more than just an athletic quarterback. Maybe someone to throw to or someone to block for him, which again means not just one pick. Let's turn that #1 pick into a few picks and then pick a bunch of help. So as a Panther fan, what is your favorite Panther team of all time? Because I usually, if I make a roster or anything, it's pre-2000s. I have done the 2000 Ravens in like my team of greatest era teams and things. Then I kind of draw the line at 2000, so it stops at the 2000 Ravens. So because of that, I've only ever made the 96 Panthers, and I think that team was kind of cool because they were I think it was just their second year of existence or something, and they made it all the way to championship game. I'll text you below the. That would be something. That would be something. The Dallas Cowboys against Houston Texans. I don't know if the rest of the country would love it, but obviously Texas would be all about that. One of the original Sack to the Future players was a Cowboy fan, so I'm sure he's right there with that hope. I was going to say that Panther team, it was cool that they made it as far as they did in 96, but, breaking down stats and looking at the team and stuff, Also a surprising team in that they did it with so much special teams. Like they had the Pro Bowl kicker, the best kicker of the year was from Carolina, the best returner of the year was from Carolina. Their punter, Todd Sauerbrunn, I think was top 2 in punting. And then if you look at their offense, they're like middle of the pack offense, middle of the pack defense. But amazing special teams, and that was able to go 12-4 and all the way to the NFC Championship game. But obviously the Cam Newton Super Bowl team was a very good team, probably Carolina's best team, I would think. The Bears, everyone got it right. So as a Bear fan, I don't have some sort of magical story that nobody knows about. It was the 85 Bears. They were clearly the greatest Bears team. Fran Tarkenton was able to run around and do some things in the first half, but here in the second half, he has been hit over and over and over. 5 times now he's been sacked, or is that 4? 4 times sacked maybe this half, and forced to throw 4 interceptions. So Tarkenton, just a nightmare second half. And a game that was once 13-6 is now 30-6. It's been over for a while. The Vikings get the better of their former teammates, and the Vikings are going to go with 4-1, total control of the division, because the Bears, Packers, and Lions are all 1-3. So they have a full 3-game lead on everyone else in the division. One more handoff should do this. Justin, thanks for joining and having a conversation. That was cool. I usually try to do this a few nights a week. A great week, maybe I'm on here 6 of the nights or something like that, but usually it turns into about 3 throughout the week. So we'll keep going with 71. Definitely come back and check out the channel again in the future. Again, your Carolina team doesn't exist yet, but still see some other good teams that were around in 71. And one of those good teams is the Vikings. They'll be on here again, obviously, because the Bears have to play them. So welcome back anytime. Thanks for subscribing. Everyone else, thanks for watching. It's been Sack to the Future. We're in week 5, and the Vikings dismantle the Giants. Fran Tarkenton looks back. What could have happened, but didn't. Yes. Yeah, the old snow back in there. Well, what basically kind of forced them to go with the new stadium. But thanks for watching. This has been Sack to the Future. We'll be on again. The next game will be the Buffalo Bills and Houston Oilers. So thanks for watching, everyone, and have a good night.